Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Empty Quiver, everything archery related and a little more, proudly sponsored by Tethered, Vantage Point Archery, and Darton Archery. Kaylene, welcome to the Empty Quiver podcast. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
How's New Mexico today? That's where you are, right?
Yes, I'm in New Mexico, and we're finally, I think, past winter here, and we are officially into spring. So we have some warmth and no more snow as of now. I'm hoping we don't get any more snow.
Well, like spring in Sweden is typically it gets really warm and then it snows and then it gets warm and then it
Yeah.
snows again. And apparently we have some more snow coming up this weekend.
Oh
So
gosh.
everybody's well over it. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Same.
Does it get no, it can't get that dark in New Mexico though, right?
Well, we do get quite a bit of snow. So we are at like the Rocky Mountain chain, and
Okay,
we're
I
at the
gotcha. Yep.
bottom of it. So we do get snow like Colorado, just not as much. But in depending where you are in New Mexico, we have like the high deserts, and
Mm-hmm.
then we also have the mountain snow. So it's a pretty good mix of everything. We have 4 seasons, so we actually experience each of the seasons with a change. So it doesn't stay the
Okay.
same all year.
No, that's cool. No, I like in winter, like we're quite far south in Stockholm, but at the worst, the sun sets just before 2 o'clock. Before 3 o'clock in the afternoon here. So,
Okay.
like that really, everyone's
Yeah.
crawling out of their house at the first bit of sunlight, basically after
Oh,
winter
for
over here. So,
sure. Yeah, we don't have that. We in the wintertime it gets dark about 6 p.m. and then
sweet,
summertime it's like 8:30, long days in
gotcha.
summer. Yeah.
I gotcha. That's cool. That's very, very cool. So,
Yeah.
um, so I believe this is your first ever podcast. So thank
It
you very much
is.
for letting me do the dummy run with you,
Yeah, I'm
basically.
happy
So
to be here. Thanks for
yeah,
having me.
it's cool. It was really nice. I met you and your husband at the ATA show this
Yeah,
year,
it was a great
actually,
show.
and yeah, it was really cool. Actually, I liked it. It was the community parts of it were really fun. Actually,
Yeah.
like I went to the oh my god, my brain, the film festival, the other night actually, and that was really really fun to see as well. So
Yeah. It was a
no,
great show. We really enjoyed our time there.
mm-hmm. No, that's
Yeah.
cool. So you go by Rustic Vixen on
Yep.
Instagram.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you get started in bow hunting, and what made you decide to get on Instagram and all that other stuff?
Yeah,
So
so I've been hunting. My husband first took me hunting maybe about 12 years ago now. And he would go off hunting with his buddies and the guys, and that's what they did. And I was always like, I want to go. That seems like so much fun. And then one year he's like, all right, that's it. We are going hunting. And I started out as a rifle hunter with him, and I really, really enjoyed it. My daughter started getting into archery, and I thought, well, that looks like a lot of fun. And if I'm going to be able to help my daughter at all, then I'm going to need to learn archery too. And I picked up a bow, and I was nervous at first, and it wasn't that I took it seriously at first. And I was like, that's fun, but I don't have time. And then my son started in archery as well, and he got interested in it. And then I just fell down this rabbit hole of archery, and I've never gotten out. And it's my passion, it's my life, and I absolutely love it. Then we just started. My husband bow hunted as well. He bow hunted since he was a kid, but I just wasn't interested in it until I really got the hang of how it felt to have a bow in my hand, and I had the confidence. And then it just went from there. I started posting videos. I started taking videos of myself while I was shooting just so that I could check my form and see what I was doing. And I just posted them. And then it just kind of went from there. And I had a whole bunch of women that were reaching out asking me how to get started and what do they need to do. And it looks so cool. And they've always had that passion and they didn't know they could do it. And so then I just kept posting and posting and posting. And now I have a really great following, and I do a lot for women in the outdoors. Tonight I'm teaching an intro to archery class for women, and it's a level 2 class. So these women have their own bows, and that's really just like my passion is getting more women involved in the sport and knowing that they could do it. Because I feel
yeah,
like a lot of women don't believe that they can or know that they can. So that's my goal, is just to get more women out there involved.
I'm quite jealous about women in, like I think they're a lot more supportive in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah.
Like guys are too much ego, I think, and a bit too proud to kind of reach out like that. That's what I think anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I work with a girl here, Madeline, and I taught her how to bow hunt, but she teaches heaps of women about hunting and
Yeah.
stuff over here too. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing. She'll put a post out, and she'll get flooded with questions from other
Yep.
women and stuff like that. And it's fantastic. Where if a guy said, "Hey, does anybody want me to teach how to archery?" We're like,
Oh.
"No, I know what I'm doing." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, just rock
Yeah.
up and try it themselves. So yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
yeah.
how it is here too for the men. We have hunting groups here in New Mexico, and men ask questions on there, and they literally yell at each other, and they just like I'm like they attack each other. And then in
Yes.
the women's group, you can ask a question, and now you have women that want to go with you and help you, and they actually support each other. So I wish the men did that more, but
Yeah,
I think they'll come around. There's some that do. There's some very supportive. I'm raising my son to be a supportive hunter, and I'm hoping that he does that, and maybe someday it'll change for the future
yeah.
generations.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about it. I bet you it's been like that since Adam was a cowboy too, like it's just the way men are. I don't understand it, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty funny. So,
yeah.
I mean, a classic one, I was an arborist for 16 years, so like I did a lot of tree climbing and stuff like that. And now I saddle hunt, but I'm
Hmm.
just kind of really sick of like all these people that are telling me about stuff, and you know what I mean? Like I
Oh yeah,
literally I literally hang out of trees for 16 years. I've done more vertical miles than most people,
yeah,
and there's all these now self-proclaimed experts that have just picked it up and decided they're an expert. So,
oh
yeah,
yeah,
that's a fun one to do. But I'm kind of caring less and less about it, to be honest. If people want to do what
for
they want
sure.
to do, then fine. So, no,
Yeah.
that's very very cool. So, you tell us about your bow setup at the moment. What do you run? I think it's Bowtech. Is that right?
Yeah, so I actually just upgraded last week. I hosted a bow fitting day for women,
Oh,
and
cool.
I was helping women get fitted into the bows that would be right for them based off what they're going to be doing, like competition archery hunting, what type of animals they're going to be hunting. Well, I was there selling all these bows and convinced myself it's time to upgrade. So I upgraded to the Bowtech Ivashaki Gen 3, and it's a female hunting bow by Bowtech, and it has the Ivashaki name on it. And it's the third bow in the series with Bowtech for Ivashaki. She has the first, the second was what I was shooting, and now the third.
Very nice. Yeah, that's what Madeline's shooting at. She is those Eva Shockey bows, and they seem really really nice bows actually.
Yeah,
So
they're
nice.
really great bows for women because they you actually get the speed. It's
Yes.
the ones that you can actually get the speed and the poundage a little bit
Hmm.
easier with their cam with the deadlock cams that they have, and
Yes.
they have performance mode and comfort mode, and it's a really great
Yeah.
setup for women.
Yeah. Well, she shot three red deer with it now, and yeah, and like I just kind of built a. Well, I put a single bevel on the front of her and stuff like that, just to kind of try and maximize penetration. But it
Yeah,
was fine. Like she did really good with it. So,
good.
and I really like the engineering on those bows. They look nice too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, yeah, and I like. I always joke that archery gear is a bit like fishing gear,
Oh
where
yeah.
people buy it just because it's sparkly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes, and I don't know if that's more true for women. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you guys probably care even more than the guys do a little bit about,
A
y-
hundred
you know.
percent.
Yeah.
I'm an overthinker and I go down rabbit
Uh-huh.
holes. And so
Okay.
I have to become an expert at something, and it's any little detail matters to me. When my husband, he's the opposite. You can set up his bow and he's like, "Oh, good to go. Yep, you say
Mhm.
that's great, great." And he doesn't question anything. He just listens to the text, and I'm like, "Wait, what are you guys doing? I want to know this."
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
just the differences in us.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's cool. And I think that's why like a lot of women are better at shooting and stuff because they actually listen.
Yeah.
Again, there's not that ego thing or they're like, okay, that's how you do that. All right, that's how it makes sense. So yeah, no, that totally makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does. And so, what do you use for broadheads and stuff? Do you have any favorites, or you?
Yeah, so I've been running the Wasp sharpshooters. They're a cut
Ah,
on
yes,
contact
yep, yep.
fixed blade, and they've worked great for me. My son also shoots with them, which is it makes it a little bit easier because we can
Mm-hmm.
switch broadheads between the two of us and just carry the same ones.
Mm-hmm.
And he just got his deer last year with the Wasp sharpshooters, and the deer that I had the Wasp sharpshooters as well, and they've been really good for me. They're good bleeders and they work well.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really, really good. Yeah, it's like I find broadheads and bow sights are like super personal.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I
for
mean?
sure.
Like if you think about archery, like there's what, 1,000 people using the same bow as you, probably more, but all the combinations past that is quite different,
Yeah.
and I, yeah,
Very
I do.
personalized.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, I had a podcast with Vantage Point Archery the other day, actually,
Oh,
and
nice.
we were just talking about that. I was just saying, is like, what do you guys recommend for new people,
Hmm.
basically, and all that stuff. But that was quite a good little rabbit hole to dive down. But
Yeah.
yeah, so hang on, how did your season go? You're saying your son got a deer, is that right?
Last year, yeah. So last year I only drew elk, and that was all that I had. So here in New Mexico, we are a draw state.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to put your hat in, you put your name in the hat and hope that they draw you out and you get to hunt. So last year, all I drew was elk, and that was my only chance. I had 2 weeks to hunt, and that was it for the whole year.
Yeah.
That was my season. And we
Yeah.
are public land DIY hunters, so we just do
Yes.
everything ourselves. And unfortunately, it was so hot on our elk hunt. The elk were buried deep into the canyons, and we just couldn't get to them. We could see them, but they were off a cliff, and there was no way. Even if we got one, there was no way we'd be able to get them out of there. So
Yeah.
we didn't get one on elk, but my son, he had a deer hunt, and he did get one on his deer hunt. And we just got our draw results yesterday here in New Mexico for our season to come.
Yeah.
So our season for this year, I drew elk and deer for archery. So I actually have
Nice.
two tags going in this year. So excited for that. And my
Yeah.
son, he won the lottery. He drew elk, he drew deer, he drew oryx, and he drew antelope. So yeah, we have a lot of hunts coming up for our family,
Wow,
and
that'll be awesome.
it's going to be so much fun.
Mhm. Yeah, because I remember actually following along with you, and you saw, like, 1,000,000 deer, right, last
Oh
time?
yeah. Yeah, for sure. Tons of them. Yeah.
Let's hope
I think
that
our
luck
count was like
stays.
36 deer. And I mean, literally some of the biggest deer that I've ever seen in the state of New Mexico. And we had an elk tag. And then the deer hunters that we found, they couldn't find the deer at all. They weren't seeing them anywhere. We were able to help some of them out, and we made a great friend on our hunt, and he was able to tag out. But we helped all the deer hunters we could that came along, saying, go here. And we really try to help out other people when we're out there hunting. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's
gorgeous
cool.
deer.
Yeah, it's always the way, no tag in your pocket, and then you see a million of them. It's
Yeah,
like that they know, I reckon. They got some, sixth sense going on there,
they do.
so so what species can you hunt in New Mexico then? Elk? You got
Elk.
black mule deer, right? Sorry?
We have mule deer. Yeah, we do have some white-tailed deer as well, but the
Okay.
population is very small for the white-tailed deer.
Mhm,
They're
mhm.
more in the southern part of the state. They cross over from Texas, and then up from Mexico, the Coues deer. So
Gotcha,
we do have some white-tailed deer, but primarily we have mule deer. And
gotcha.
then elk, of course, we have wonderful elk hunting here. That's pretty much what we're known for, is our elk
Mhm.
hunting. And the oryx, they were imported in from Africa, which I know you know
Yep.
all about the oryx.
Yeah, yeah.
We have those, and they're great. We've actually never hunted oryx before, so this is going to be our first year hunting them,
That'll be fun.
and so excited for that. We also have mountain lions, the cougars, and those are actually an over-the-counter tag, so those you can just get over the counter and hunt. It's not a draw, which is
Mhm,
cool. And then we have bear hunting. They're not grizzlies, it's black bears.
mhm.
And those we do have draw options for the really good hunts. And then we have over the counter as well. And then we have Barbary sheep. And what am I forgetting? Ibex.
Yeah.
Ibex.
Wow, cool.
And
Do you have any hogs?
well, we have javelina, which they are technically in the rodent family.
Yep.
We do have hogs. They are just they come over from Texas, but there's really
Uh-huh.
not that many of them.
Okay, well, that's
Um,
probably a good thing.
yeah, we don't have a lot of them, but they do come over, and those ones you don't need. They're not even considered anything. You could just hunt those if you do
Okay.
see them. But we do have javelina, which a lot of people think that they're a hog, but they're actually in the rodent family,
Mhm,
and they're
mhm.
really cool species, and they can be very mean.
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
but
Yeah, apparently.
they're small.
Yeah, are they really blind? Like, I watch some people hunt them, and they don't look the sharpest animals
No, they're not.
sometimes.
They're not the
Yeah,
smartest. No, not at all.
yeah.
But when you do get one, you there's different ways of cooking them. Some people really don't like the meat, and if you
Mm,
cut them wrong, they have a gland that smells absolutely terrible. So
mhm.
you have to stay clear of that when you do get one. But they do make really good food. We actually would cook them with red chili. Chili is very popular here in New Mexico, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the best way to eat them is
Mm-hmm.
slow cooking them with chili. So
Yeah,
good
sweet. That
food.
sounds good. Sounds good. I think like if in doubt, you can slow cook most things. I reckon. It's
Yes,
like if you're unsure about it, just slow cook it. It'll be
just put
fine.
it in the slow cooker. Yeah,
That's cool. That's interesting. I didn't really realize you didn't have so many whitetail down there. To be honest,
yeah, not a lot.
yeah, I kind of thought they were fairly well spread throughout most of America, actually. But yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's interesting. So,
not a ton. There are some, and we do have draws that specifically state that you get a whitetail,
hmm
but there's not a lot of them. It's
hmm
mostly just mule deer.
yeah, that's cool. And so, like, are they typically fairly similar looking to the Texas whitetails? Then are they? Or
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
not.
okay.
I mean, it's a lot of them. They are very similar. With the whitetail, the mule deer, they're a lot bigger,
hmm
and their antlers are they get bigger, and they're actually a wider spread than the whitetail deer that Texas has. So
Yeah, that's cool. That's interesting.
yeah,
I love like how like the kind of supposedly the same species, but if you look across America, they actually look quite different. Well, they have
they
different
do. Yeah.
characteristics. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, especially like if
um,
you're in Georgia or anywhere down there, completely different looking than what ours look like. So,
hmm yeah. Well, I saw some in Texas, and I thought they were tiny compared to like the ones we get in Finland. They're quite big bodied
yeah,
deer. I mean, like you might get the odd doe that's like 180 pounds, like in Finland. In Finland, you know what I mean? Like there's some pretty
yeah,
big deer there. So, yeah, it's very interesting. I find that stuff fascinating.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. So, what is it like? Like I have some preconceived ideas around it, but like, what's it like being a female influencer in the hunting industry? Because it looks like a lot of hard work, and you have to put up with a lot of
Yes,
bullshit. To be honest with you, is that kind of fair?
yes,
Yeah,
yes. Oh gosh,
yeah.
yes. So, um, it's definitely a lot of hard work. It's very rewarding. I do it because, I will get, man, some of the comments that I get, it's literally daily.
hmm
And the different platforms are different in how they respond to your post. Some of them are more supportive, and others are not supportive whatsoever.
hmm
But and like, oh, my cat's trying to come into the video here. Watch out, buddy. Visitor. Um,
yeah,
so I literally will get called. And so one thing is men don't really have like the body comments that women get.
yeah.
Women get body comments. So people will tell me, "Oh, you look like you've gained some weight. Oh, you lost some weight. Oh, are you having a baby? Are you?" I mean, it's like absolutely crazy the things that they think it's appropriate to say. And
yeah,
then they'll say, "Oh, you're just out here because you're a female." And yeah, I am out here because I'm a female because I'm trying to get more women involved. And
yeah. Hey, and that's what you were born as, right?
yeah, exactly. And they really just like, I mean, they will just put me through the ringer. And no matter what I do, they will criticize me. And there are the internet professionals in the world, and they will pick down every single little thing that I do and comment on it. I really can let a lot of the negativity go. It doesn't bother
That's
me.
lucky.
I
hmm
mean, it's really hard. Sometimes it'll get me, and my husband's like, let it go, let it go, let it go. But it's very rare that they actually get to me because
hmm
what bothers me though is that if they're commenting to me, they're commenting to other women. And
hmm
I just want to be protective of all of us out there. And
Yeah,
if they're really being mean to somebody who's new in the business and new in archery, and they're just so excited and they put their picture up there and then they completely criticize everything that they do, it just tears me up inside. But
yeah,
for all the negative people, I have so many supportive people, and that's what I focus on, and that's what continues to drive me. And I have a lot of people who comment and will say like they live vicariously through me because they can't get out there and hunt anymore. And or I have I have a couple of people who follow me, and one guy, he sent me some messages and he told me that he lost his son at a young age. And so he never got to experience the hunts that I have with my son. And so to
yeah,
him, he follows along, and it's just like so heartwarming because to him, he's just living through me, and he's like, I'm so proud of what you do with your son out there because not a lot of women do it. And it makes me miss my son every day, but I'm glad I get to see what you do, and thanks for sharing it. So
yeah.
it's stuff like that that keeps me going, or the women that send a message and say, I've been following you and now I'm really interested in trying to get involved in archery. Can you help me out? And those are the things that keep me going. So that's what I
Mhm,
focus on, the positive.
mhm. Yeah, that's cool. Do you do much, like, banning of people and stuff like that, or does it have to be real bad for that to happen?
I try not to because
Mhm.
it's very hard to read text as well. Because let's say I read a sentence one way, but you meant it a different way.
Yeah,
And just
100%.
because I took it that way doesn't mean that you intended it to be a
Mhm.
negative comment.
Yeah. Yeah, a
So
lot of
I,
people yeah, a lot of people struggle with just basic grammar and stuff, so I totally understand that.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
try not to ban people. I mean, it has to be pretty bad if you get blocked from me.
Yeah, 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 or
Or like
continuous.
continually. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just like
continuous
a
stuff.
continuous thing. Or you come after my kids or something like that
Ah.
because, protective mama over
Oh,
here.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But other than that, no,
Yeah.
not really. I try not to ban people because
Yeah, that's cool.
people have their
It's
opinion and they're allowed to have it.
it I mean, but the other thing too, right, is and I know it's like it's kind of the a silver lining in it all, but that
Mhm.
generates engagement for you too, and it
It
actually
does. Yeah.
it helps promote you too. So
Yeah.
I know it's like a real bittersweet thing, but it's
Yeah.
it has its place. So
It does.
yeah.
Actually, in regards to that, I had a gentleman who is a hunter and he has a TV show and he
Mm,
works with a very popular TV channel.
yes.
And he commented some pretty bad negativity on my post.
I
And
remember that.
yeah, he kind of blew me up because
Yeah.
him being so negative and being such an influential person in the outdoors and hunting, he shouldn't be downing women like that.
What happened? I can't remember who it was, but what happened in the end? Did it just blow over, or did he get a slap on the hand or anything? Or
So I talked to, I'm not going to say the company or the
that's
television
fine. No, you don't
show,
have to.
but
No, no. Yeah.
you can research it. You can go down rabbit holes on my page and find it if you want. But
Yes. Yeah.
I did talk to them and they were apologetic and they said, we are sorry for his behavior. And
Hmm.
they've actually, since that, increased a lot of their women in hunting on their channel. And they have brought on some other influencers and they've really been doing more for women now. So I'm glad that they did apologize and that they did do that and that they're bringing more women on.
Hmm.
I'm not sure what happened with him, but I have not seen much from him lately. So
Mm. It
since
was
then,
it was like yeah, I think I remember the comment, but
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's like it's real sad because I mean like there was that guy last season who maybe didn't steal that deer off that girl and
Oh,
stuff. You remember what I
yes.
mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, what is going on people out there like,
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
There's still good people in the world, and
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
that's what I'm going to focus on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but he
Yeah.
actually did. He did well, and I got a lot of new followers from him, and
Yes.
I gained a huge support of a community that I didn't have before his negativity. So I don't
Yeah.
want more negativity, but it didn't work out
Yeah.
how he thought it was going to work out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's I mean, yeah, I'm glad it worked out good for you in the end, but it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's funny with all the body comments and stuff because like being a guy and you can probably ask your husband this, like I don't know if a guy would get sick of being told that he's hot or he's good looking or whatever like that. Yeah, I'm just being honest with you. Like but it must like, it's and I think that's kind of where the intent comes from, right?
Yeah.
But it comes off like a little cringy, a little desperate, and sometimes like super creepy the way they write stuff. You know what I mean?
Definitely sometimes. Yeah.
And like the "Oh, you're so sexy, baby" comments and stuff like that. Like it's
Yeah.
just like if you're listening to this, like yeah, again, maybe it comes down to like not being able to express yourself properly, but just think about what you're
Yeah.
writing to people.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
yeah,
how I take it, that they don't really understand what they're saying and they don't mean ill will by it. So
no,
I thank you for your comment and yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I mean
But
their opinions don't matter. My husband and I, we've been together forever and we've been together for over 20 years. He's my everything. So,
yeah,
and
yeah,
he's
yeah,
my
yeah,
biggest supporter, my best friend. And if you see
yeah.
me out there, generally my husband's right next to me because we're like a
Yeah, he
package
was a
deal
nice
everywhere we
dude. He
go.
was great. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
no, it's just funny. It's like I kind of would love to know what goes through some people's heads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. Sometimes you don't want to know.
yeah, well, maybe you don't wanna know actually, yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, like what at which degree did my upbringing become different to someone else's where you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think it's okay to write what they write or you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, it's very interesting, all that stuff, the
Yeah.
human psyche around social media, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the other thing too, right, is, like, it's fairly new, like, 10 years or
Hmm.
whatever, roughly. Maybe another 10 years all those people that don't know how to, uh, you know what I mean? I think it might be
Yeah.
different in 10 years' time.
Well,
You
hopefully, I
know?
mean, even like raising my son in 10 years, I
Mhm.
mean, he's going to be 15 next month.
Yeah.
So, as a 25-year-old man in 10 years, I hope that he has respect, and I believe that he will. I mean, doing the best I can to raise him to
Yeah.
be respectful to women. I could
Yeah.
never see him commenting anything like that. And
Yeah.
what so many people don't realize is that I have kids, like I have grown kids. They're not like
Mhm.
4 years old. My kids
Y
are 15, 20 years old. They are on social media and they see these comments. So
yeah.
they see what people say about their mom. I hope that my kids just take it as a positive, and they see the positive that I'm trying to do. And they're
Mhm.
very supportive of
Ha
me.
have you
And
ever talked to them about it all? And be like,
oh yeah, yeah.
"Yeah."
I mean, my son, he was in school, and one day a girl was like, "Oh my gosh, is your mom Rustic Vixen?" And he's like, "You follow my mom?" Like, but she led archery, and so she followed me. And my daughter's not really in a lot of stuff with me, but she's not big on hunting, and
Mhm,
she's
mhm.
more of a let's go sit at the lake and enjoy the lake kind of girl.
Gotcha. Yeah.
She's not big on hunting. She did love archery, but my son, he's the one that it's
Yeah.
my son and myself. It's really like our hunting passion,
Mhm.
and then we drag my husband along. My husband loves hunting, but we kind of take it to a higher level than
I
my
gotcha.
husband does,
I
my
gotcha.
son and
You're
I.
dragging him up the hills,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah,
But then
so
we just got to get him out there, and then he doesn't want to leave once we get him out there. So,
yeah,
but
that's it. It's a
yeah,
magical place to be, the outdoors.
yeah.
Like, one of my favorite things is, like, when you go to sleep and then, like, you're in the tent or whatever, and you forgot that, you went to sleep, and you wake up and you're like, "Oh, that's right,"
Oh,
and
that's
you
right.
open your front door and it's just, like,
Oh,
vast
it's the
wilderness
best.
out the front window. It's so good. It's one of the
Yeah.
best things ever. So, yeah. So, but your daughter's older than the son, is that right?
Yeah, she's 20. Yeah, she's
So
20. She's
she's
in college.
I mean, probably you are the same too, as, like, all your priorities change. Like,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, I was mad keen on hunting till I was, like, maybe 17, 18, or
Uh-huh.
something like that, and then I just dropped it for partying and women and,
Mhm.
like, having fun and stuff. So, and then
Yeah,
obviously went back to it again, you know what I mean? But just something changes in your brain, it switches around.
for
Just,
sure.
yeah.
It's just like a mindset of, like you said, it just changes.
Yeah.
It's like a flip of the switch. So,
Yeah, that's the one, that's the one, so
yeah.
no, that's cool. Well, on behalf of all the, I don't know if you say normal males, like, sorry for all the stuff you guys have to go through, but,
Yeah.
yeah, you seem to have a pretty thick skin about it, so,
I do, yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool, and to be honest, like, your community looks mostly supportive from, like, the comments and
Yeah, for
stuff I
sure.
see like that, so
They are.
it's good, it's good, and
They are.
I
They're
think
really supportive, and I mean, they'll protect me too, which is nice too. So
mhm,
when people
mhm.
start being mean, then my community will come along and kind of smack them in the face. So
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So, do you have a YouTube channel as well, or
I do. Yeah, I don't have a lot on YouTube. I only have maybe like 6,000 followers on YouTube,
Mhm,
so it's a
mhm.
lot less compared to my other ones. YouTube's a lot harder, and that one is my
Yeah.
newest. So,
Yeah.
wow, they're vicious on there, but yeah,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
I do. I slowly been growing that, but I should
Yeah.
probably put some more effort into it.
So what do you put hunts on there? What do you put on there? Just the same reels and stuff in
I've
your shorts, or
Yeah, I've been doing some
yeah.
shorts, and then I do have some stuff like what to expect if you're a new person coming into an archery store.
Mhm.
Um, I do have stuff like that to like help out with the archery shops, and I work with the archery shop here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and
Okay.
I have some stuff for them on there that
Yes.
just try to help people out who are new getting into archery and try to make it not so intimidating to the
Yeah.
new people coming in, because it can
Mhm.
be intimidating when you don't know anything and you walk in and you're like, where do I even begin? So,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
like, just, like, something, again, just to say casually is, like, you're quite lucky in America that most people have a bow shop close by.
Because you
Like,
guys don't, right?
no, you've gotta just, like, "Okay, I want that bow," and then you get it, and it turns up on your door, and then, you're kinda stuck with it, really. You can't try them, like, you can
Yeah.
go to some places and try them out, but definitely
Hmm.
not every bow. Like,
Yeah.
most shops will have a Matthews and a Hoyt and
Hmm.
Bowtech and you know what I mean, like, those things, but same thing as if you want it in your custom colors or whatever, probably have to wait another 8 weeks or something or
Oh
more
gosh.
for it to get, for it to come
Yeah.
over, so,
Yeah, we're very
yeah.
blessed with that to have techs and shops and
Yeah. Yeah, I
People who
mean,
know
like,
what they're doing to help you.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely not like that everywhere. There are places in Europe you can
Mhm.
do that stuff, but
Yeah.
a lot of it is pretty kind of, yeah, little bit harder. And there's no, like, I'm not allowed to bow hunt here in Sweden. I have to travel
Hmm.
everywhere and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
the hurdles to get over is quite a lot more.
Yeah.
But I also think that's like if you're willing to do that, you kind of stick to it. As
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, you
You got
probably
to put
get
in the work.
yeah, well, you probably get less kind of those maybe sort of people
Yeah.
that you either want to do it or you don't. So yeah, it is what it is. So what is so you're a flight attendant as well? Is that correct?
Yeah, I
For
am.
which airline is it? Delta
I
or
actually don't say the airline anywhere. I
okay,
can't
okay,
say the name of it, but if you look on my pages, you can figure it out.
okay. There we
I
go.
just
That's good.
can't post it. So, yeah,
That's fine. No, that's all right. I
yeah,
just can't remember. I remember seeing your uniform, so I was trying to
yeah.
remember what it
I've been
was.
a
But
flight attendant for 10 years. Today is actually my 10-year anniversary of being a flight attendant,
oh,
and
congratulations!
it's
Yeah,
it's so much fun. It's a great
yeah.
career to have, and it works really well for hunting because I kind of make my own schedule and I work as much or
Ah,
as little as I want. And I fly for free. So, and so does my husband and my kids. We all fly for free. So,
is it internationally as well, or just in the
yeah,
US? Oh,
yeah.
wow, you can fly it. Wow.
Yeah. I just have to, so like if I'm heading out to see you, I just have to fly standby and I have to
Well,
pay taxes on the ticket.
I
And
gotcha. Well,
that's like
I was just
nothing.
thinking
So,
because every year in Finland they have a bow hunting workshop for women only,
oh, nice.
and that might be something you're interested in joining
Yeah.
in. There's whitetail, roe deer, and all that other stuff too.
Yeah.
So it could be something that
Yeah, definitely.
might be a good excuse to come over, right? So yeah, yeah, yeah. So no, that'd be cool. I was just thinking about it before, but there's so much hunting over here too.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got a species you want to target or something too. I don't know, but
Yeah, one day I
yeah.
definitely we don't have the red stag here, so
Mm-hmm.
that's
Apart from on your wall behind you.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why that's why I want one day to replace that with a mount one day, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we can sort that out for you too. There's lots of good places to go for red
Awesome.
stags, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's a pretty fun hunt, especially in the rut, when they're roaring and stuff like that. It's a real sort of belly rumbling experience if they get close
Yeah.
to you. So
I've watched some videos on it and it looks absolutely amazing
yeah.
and it just looks like so much fun. But that would
Yeah.
definitely be one of my like bucket list hunts one day.
Mhm.
That and caribou because
Mhm.
we don't have caribou here. We do in North America, but just not in New Mexico. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'd love to do caribou as well. I mean, like, I've looked at doing them in Greenland, but it's like I
uh-huh.
can't remember. Like, I think you're starting at like 6 grand or something like that.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's quite
Yeah.
expensive. So, um, maybe a few years time or so, and
Yeah.
we'll see how we go. But I heard actually that you can. Man, am I going to get this right? You don't need a guide in Alaska for caribou. I think is right.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah,
But I think it depends. I think there's some areas that you have to have, like, they're responsible when they drop you off and pick you up, and you have to like check
gotcha.
in at certain
Mm-hmm.
times.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I actually just started looking into hunts in Alaska to just to like read about the rules. Here in the
Mm-hmm.
US, we have so many states, and each of our states have different rules. And
Mm-hmm.
so to learn the rules from states to states, it's like mind-boggling,
Yeah.
overwhelming. So, especially because we're public land DIY hunters, we don't hunt with a guide, and we're not on
Mm-hmm.
private land. We're literally just out there doing it ourselves. So,
Mm-hmm.
learning the different states here, it's a lot of information. But the nice
Yeah.
thing is we have great community, so I can check. I can like, hey, is anybody in Indiana? I want to go hunt up there because maybe give me some
Mm-hmm.
information, and that's
Yeah.
what's really great about it. Is
Yeah.
community helping each other out.
Yeah. Because like that would be something I would want to do, I think, is try and get a caribou myself. That'd be a lot of
Yeah,
fun. If it's possible, So
yeah,
yeah, because they're a very impressive animal. And
yeah.
I mean, we get the reindeer, they're a little bit smaller over here and they're
Hmm.
really tasty too. I can imagine a
That's what I've
caribou's good
heard.
eating too. Yeah. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
a real common thing here is they'll smoke a big block of it,
Uh
and
huh.
you just cut like little thin slithers off, put a little cheese, or
Yum.
have it with a drink or something. It's
Oh,
really
you're
nice.
making
Yeah.
me hungry.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's good. So yeah. So have you got any other dream hunts? You were saying the caribou and a red stag.
Yeah, I'd also like to do a moose hunt one day. We actually do have moose here in New Mexico that have come
Mm,
in, but they are not, if you can't hunt them, they're a protected species here,
hmm.
but they have been coming down from Colorado. But moose would be a lot of fun. That would be a really
Yeah,
fun hunt. My son
yeah.
wants to hunt a grizzly bear one day, and my husband's like, nope, I'm out. And I'm like, oh, that'd be fun.
You can
But
carry the sidearm, eh?
yeah. So, but moose would be a lot of fun, and that's so much meat and
Yep.
just I mean elk, we have a ton of meat with the elk. They're
Hmm.
massive animals, but I mean a moose is even bigger. So
Hmm. And so, like, if a non-resident comes to New Mexico for
hmm.
elk, like, what's the chance of them getting a tag?
Ooh, it's I mean you can get a tag as a non-resident. It's put in for a draw system as well.
Yes, yes.
And I want to say it's like 10%. Don't quote me on this and
No,
don't
that's
come
fine.
yelling
Yeah,
at me, internet warriors.
yeah, yeah. It's
It's
not
like
10%.
10%.
It's 9.5.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like 10% of our tags are supposed to go to the non-residents. But I know like if you're in put in with a guide, you have a better chance that way. But there
Mm,
is opportunity. There are people, I know many people who are non-residents who have drawn here in New Mexico.
hmm.
Um, there's also private land tags that you can buy, but they just cost you an absolute fortune.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that you see in a lot of like celebrities, even a lot of the influencers that you see that
Hmm.
are hunting in New Mexico, they didn't get their tags out of a draw system.
No, no.
They
Yeah.
purchased those tags, and they're hunting
Yes.
on a private land with a guide. So
And I think it's
yeah,
about 10 grand or something, 8,000
yeah,
in there.
so much
So,
money.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy amount of
Yeah.
money. So,
I don't have that type of money for those hunts. So people
no.
ask me a lot. They're like, "How come you're not out there hunting more?" And I'm like, "Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we're public land hunters and we're
Hmm.
DIY hunters. So
Hmm.
I get what I draw, and we haven't hunted out of state yet.
Hmm.
We've only hunted here in New Mexico, but if there was a year that we didn't do well in the draw here, then I would look at some other options. But
Yeah.
so far, we've been doing pretty good lately in the draw, and with we're gonna have 6 hunts just for big game starting July through the last one is in October. No, November will be the last one for my son. So I mean, we're going to be really busy with those hunts coming
Yeah.
up. So it's going to take up our
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Hopefully, lots of meat on the back for you too,
Yeah,
packing it all out,
hopefully.
So,
Yeah, we put
I,
in a lot of work for him. So
yeah, I've hunted in PA, and that was a lot of fun. We
okay,
did kind of like some more urban-y drives around Pittsburgh and stuff.
yeah,
And I was surprised how much deer are in those urban areas. It's insane. And
yeah,
and that was archery too. That was a lot of fun.
nice,
We did a little bit of still hunting and stuff like that too. It was fun. But I was in Georgia this year,
nice.
and yeah, that was fun. But I basically got skunked. I did shoot a doe, but
Oh,
it took me 7 days to see a deer with a bow in my hand, which is like
yeah,
they were saying it was just strange. Like, I don't know, something
that's
to do
how
with
it
the
goes
moon.
sometimes.
Yeah, well, it went really warm too. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, so nothing was really moving around, unfortunately. So I think I might go back there to Georgia this year, but he was talking about going to Kentucky as well, doing a couple of
nice,
weeks, do 1 week in Kentucky and 1 week in Georgia and see how we go,
nice.
basically. Yeah.
And you're
So,
looking for a whitetail there?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I love whitetail hunting. I think it's a lot of fun,
yeah.
and especially like I've now got the saddle system going. It's just so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
which is so opposite than how we hunt here in New
hmm.
Mexico.
Hmm.
We're not in a saddle or a tree stand at all. We are literally on our feet and climbing mountains and
Hmm.
spot and stalk hunting
Yeah.
and
Well, that's how it is in New Zealand. Like, it's all basically
same.
on the foot like that. So
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. I think like if you've got mountains and stuff, I think stalking's really good. But like
yeah,
some of the flatter stuff with fields and
hmm,
things like that, like I just look at everything like a tool.
yeah,
So, I won't always use a saddle, but if I can use one,
yeah,
fantastic. You know what I mean? So it's yeah, that's good fun either way around. So
yeah. It's
yeah.
just fun being out there.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, we might be going to New Zealand in September with a friend as well. Just going to go and head up some cheap places and do a bit of public land stuff as well.
Fun.
Yeah, none of those big kind of outfitter places and
Yeah,
things like that this time around. Yeah, it's a lot of good fun in New Zealand.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
good.
yeah,
It
I mean,
looks like
like,
it. I've seen some really great hunts out there and seen some of the gorgeous animals, and it looks so beautiful.
yeah, well, I mean, like you can hunt there all year round. There's no tags or anything like
Yeah.
that. So, like if you are somebody that's motivated, you can like, I mean, the most expensive thing is probably your plane ticket, to be honest with
Hmm.
you.
Hey,
Um,
hey, not for me.
oh, well, not for you, no, exactly. But yeah,
Yeah.
and then I guess you have to have a hire car and stuff like that too, or
Yeah.
whatever to get around. But yeah, a little bit. Most Kiwis are pretty helpful too.
Nice.
So it's yeah, that'd be a good adventure for anyone to do, I think. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. So have you done any collabs with any other people? And like, what are you like? Is there anyone you would love to do a collab with?
I'm gonna dream big one day, and I would love to do something with Eva Shockey, but she's
Hmm.
way bigger than me, and she's absolutely amazing. But
Yeah.
I literally shoot her bow, so that would be really cool one day. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's so many great influencers. There's so many great
Hmm.
hunters out in the women's community, and even in the men's, there's some really great informative men out there, and
Hmm.
one of the great things about attending the shows is I've gotten to meet some of them and say hi and
Yeah.
make connections. Like I met you at the
Yeah.
ATA, and just making those connections is really fun. But
Yeah.
I'm always up for any collabs really, because it's
Hmm.
just getting more people and building community together, and that's
Hmm.
really what I think is the great part about the hunting community online is
Yes.
they can be very supportive, and when you build that community, it's good for everybody. So
Yeah. Have you done any of the TAC events?
I have not, no. So these last couple of years, we've been really busy with selling a house, building a house, moving. So that's kind of taken up a lot of our extra time
Hmm.
so we've been saving our extra time for hunts and having to save like time off and stuff for that. So hopefully maybe after this next year we can get out and do some of those. We have some smaller ones as well here in New Mexico, not as big as the TAC ones, but they look absolutely amazing and like so much fun. I've had a lot of friends that have gone to them and they just speak highly of how amazing they are. So one of these days.
Yeah, I think one time I'll fly over for one of them. I think
Nice.
they look a lot of fun. And basically, what you're talking about is like I just love the community and stuff like that. It'd be
Yeah,
really fun just to be part of one of those. I think,
for sure.
yeah, put some miles in, go up down the hills, and lose some
Yeah.
arrows. So
Yeah.
yeah, because
Hopefully not too many,
yeah, well,
but
because I love those tricky shots. You know
oh
what I mean?
gosh, yeah. Hmm.
Like the courses that we go to here in Stockholm, it's kind of lucky where they're not predefined. Like as long as you're being safe, you can pick your own angles and stuff like
Oh,
that.
that's
And
good.
I will go out with mates and we'll just challenge each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
tighter the gaps or the longer the shots or whatever like that. It's a
Yeah.
lot of fun. And like those shots are quite. I think they're really good to practice those ones.
Yeah, because you
Makes
never
everything else
know.
no, well, but it makes everything else feel easier too.
Yeah, for
You know what I
sure.
mean? So there's a whitetail, a 3D whitetail target. That's my favorite one, and there's about 3 or 4 shooting lanes that are probably geez, I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 inches. Like if
Hmm.
you know what I mean, and you're shooting kind of 55 yards, and so you
Hmm.
just have to like really focus down that tunnel. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're going to slam one of those trees. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if the thought of a tree even gets in your head, it's over. You've just got to
Yeah.
like
Oh, those
really,
trees.
yeah, exactly.
I've
Yeah,
definitely been got by a branch or two before.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
That's
I'm very
cool.
blessed. I have land, and we're on the building a house right now on some property. And on our
Yeah, I
property,
see
we're
that.
going to make a outdoor range, and we
Hmm.
have different elevations and trees that we can work with. So I'm really excited for that because I can put up my 3D targets and make it just like an outdoor range and shoot high elevations and low elevations, and we'll have probably up to maybe about 100 yards with thick tree elevation. So
Yeah, that's
that'll be a
awesome.
lot of fun. Yeah. Right now
Yeah.
we have some flat land, and I mean, I can do 100 yards here. So it's
Yes.
nice to be able to head out to my backyard and
Yeah,
be able
and
to shoot those far
that's
distances.
what I always say to, like, people in new. My biggest advice is, like, go past your comfort zone. If you're
Yeah.
practicing, like,
Yeah.
just go, like, see what 30 feels like, see what 40 feels like, and
Yeah.
shoot, 10, 20 arrows at that, and then go back close again. You'll be like, "Oh, this doesn't
Yeah.
feel as bad at all," now
Exactly.
it's like the something I wish someone had told me earlier is that don't
Yeah.
be scared, like, especially if you're by yourself. Who cares if you miss a target? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
I
just
mean,
go
you
try
learn
it.
from mistakes, you learn from misses,
100%.
and you adjust. So
Yeah,
don't be
yeah, and
afraid to take the shot.
you really get to see your form or if your bow's doing something weird as well,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's a
Yeah.
very, very good thing to do. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think that's good. But I'm the opposite here. I have to catch a bus or drive around to the 3D course. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like I'm in an apartment here. I
Yeah.
can shoot. I can shoot. We've got a bomb shelter in the bottom here. Actually, I can
Oh.
shoot. I can shoot my recurve in the bottom of that.
Oh, nice.
But like I've just got this bad thought about like an arrow ricocheting around from my compound. So I
Yeah.
haven't wanted to shoot that yet. But
Yeah. I see that.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. Fantastic. All right, Kaylene. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I really enjoyed that chat. It was good, and like New Mexico is quite interesting for me now. I think like that's kind of gone on my radar. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
tags are pretty hard, but it'd be cool to
Yeah.
experience it, and just to see what do you think the success rate of deer is, for instance, and elk there? Do you know the state stats for that stuff?
I don't, but it really also depends. Like you can look on the New Mexico Game and Fish website, and
Mm-hmm.
they actually have like the harvest reports that are put out, and you can see the percentage on there. But it really just depends on the different areas. Like one
Yeah.
area may have like an 80% success rate, while another
Mm-hmm.
one has like a 5% success
I
rate.
gotcha.
So it really just depends. And then archery versus the rifle, and we have muzzleloader
Yeah.
hunts as well, and kids versus the adults,
Mm-hmm.
and just a lot of factors that go into it. But there are a lot of tags to be had in New Mexico, but it's just the luck of the draw. But I mean,
Yeah.
anybody could draw, so you put in for it and you either
Yeah.
do or you don't. Those residents, my husband and I tried for 8 years for drawing elk, and we didn't draw for 8 years. So,
Mm-hmm.
and now we've had 2 years in a row for us as residents.
Yeah.
But there's other people that I know that've been putting in for 20 years and they've never drawn once. And then
Wow.
there's other people who are non-resident, and they get tags, like 3 years in
Yeah.
a row. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, luck of the draw, they say, but it's a big controversy here in New Mexico, our draw system. Some people love it, some people hate it. It's
I
quite the
think
controversy here.
I just need to start putting in for places
Yeah.
anyway. You know what I mean? Like there's heaps of places where you get the points built up and stuff
Uh-huh.
like that. You know what I mean? So
You got to
I
build your
just
points up for some states. So
someone needs
you
to do
can't
an
build
app.
them unless you put them in. So,
Someone needs to do an app where it's like you can just apply for everything on the one app. You know what I mean? It
yeah.
just does it for you, like the Sky Scanner or something like that, basically, where
Yeah.
you can get a login for everything. That'd be
Yeah.
amazing.
That would
I
be
don't know
nice.
if I don't know if that'd allow that to happen or not, but
Probably not, but
yeah,
probably
yeah.
not with like our different state laws, because
Hmm.
that's how here in New Mexico, it's like mini countries almost, because we have, I mean, here in the United States, because we have each state has different laws and different rules within
Hmm.
the United States.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
they probably wouldn't work well together, because not all of our
It'd be a
states
little,
work well together.
yeah, it'd be a little difficult. But I mean, hypothetically, if you signed up to, the Georgia Game and Wildlife, and
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
individually, maybe you could hook them to a thing to make it easier. I
Yeah,
don't know, but
definitely would
yeah,
be nice.
yeah,
I
yeah.
know that there's like apps that you can look at to find the information out for each of the states and like help you choose where to put in for.
Hmm.
But it would be nice if it was one
Yeah,
that just did it all for you.
yeah. Well, because like I think too, there's going to be more and more draw tags, I think, as we
Yeah.
go on, depending on the species and stuff, of course. But things seem to
Yeah.
be getting tighter rather than looser, in regards
Yeah.
to all that stuff. So
Yeah. It's
yeah,
definitely over the years has changed.
hmm,
So,
yeah, for sure. So, hey, thank you very much, Kaylene.
yeah.
And don't be a stranger. Like I'd love to go hunting with you one time, come film or something,
Yeah.
and vice versa. You can come over to Europe. Yep,
And same, you
plan.
come out here, you let me know.
Yeah, yeah, we'll
Yeah.
do for
And
sure.
let me know what tack you're going to.
Yeah, I will have to
Yeah.
I'll have to look at like maybe one of the East Coast ones or something. I think it's
Yeah.
quite a bit further to go over to the West Coast. So
Yeah, it is. So,
yeah,
and I know last time you had some weather issues. You got stuck, right?
I
After
did.
18 days.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you hit the
We got
bad weather.
yeah, I got delayed like over 24 hours basically.
Gosh.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was really annoying, and I didn't get any compensation or nothing in the end. It was really
Oh,
annoying. Yeah,
oh, that's terrible.
I was pretty pissed off about that, to be honest.
Yeah,
So
I would be too.
yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't know. Like I kind of got turned into some self-entitled, spoiled little, like I was just like not much sleep, right? I was
Oh
like
yeah.
pretty angry about everything, and I
Yeah.
end up having to just be like, just stop. It's not these people's fault. They're
Yeah.
not making the You know what I mean? Like I managed to calm myself down, but yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't a fun thing. So yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's cool.
Delays are never fun. So,
That's right. That's right.
yeah.
So one last time, how do people find you? It's just Rustic
Yeah.
Vixen everywhere.
Rustic Vixen on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. And then it's Kaylene Lujan on Facebook.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you. It was great talking with you.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye. Thank you for listening. Appreciate it. Make sure you follow us for more.